You have to set up the worker. So you create a new blob. You have to get the different parts of your function. So if you pass in an algorithm, you have to separate it into the name of the function, the parameters, and the content. And then you put that into a JSON object, and then you convert it into a string. And then you send that string to the web worker for it to kind of do its thing, and then send you back the results or do whatever you want with it. For example, like console log, etc. And so, for example, for the for each method, first you iterate through each element in the array. You create the worker, you set up the worker using the function that I just made before, and then you stringify the function that you passed in, which is an algorithm, and the number, and then you send that to the worker for it to process. So how do you use it? On the left, you can see the original array.prototype.mat method, and on the right, you can see the method that my partner and I created, which is the WorkWork method. It's very similar, except that since web workers work asynchronously, you have to use a promise. So on the right side, you can see you can run nth prime, and then you use .then, and then it will have this result array that will have all your results stored in it. And there is one limitation. So I decided to use dedicated workers instead of shared workers. And what that means is that dedicated workers can't interact with each other. They can only interact with the parent that created the worker. And so I have a short demonstration to show. So I use two algorithms, nth prime and the Fibonacci, without any cache, so it's really slow. So n prime is O of n squared runtime, so it's pretty slow. And so if you have an array of randomly generated elements, you can run the original array.prototype.mat method. And so if you run it, it actually freezes the browser. You can see the sprite actually freezes, and the music freezes as well, but then the music is not playing right now. But it takes a little bit of time. It takes like around 14 seconds. Okay, and here it takes like around 19 seconds. And then for the WorkWork method, it takes 5,800 milliseconds, which is a huge improvement. And then for Fibonacci, which is O of 2 to the n, you create an array of 5 elements. So it takes 11,000 milliseconds. And for WorkWork, it only takes around 4,000 milliseconds, which is a huge improvement. So that's pretty much it. It's really short. Thank you. Is there any questions? Oh, yeah. Right.
But what actually, why did you choose to, I don't know, the way you chose to make it, right? What was the purpose that I want to use dedicated workers instead of shared workers?
So I just tried to make it a little bit simple. So I ended up passing in any algorithm and then running that algorithm on every single element inside that array. And so each element doesn't really interact with each other, so there was no need for shared workers. So I just decided to do dedicated workers. That makes sense? Cool. Yep.
Is there a limit to the size of the array you pass?
No, so you can pass in any number of elements. It just iterates through each element and then creates a worker for all of the web workers. However, I think it's limited by how fast your browser is. So I don't have an exact number, but it shouldn't be just like only 5. It should be more than that. So.
Cool. Any more questions? All right, let's go now.
Cool. Thank you.